My only criticism of
Uh-huh.
female content creators such as yourself.
Oh
Okay.
God.
If I'm being 100% honest with you, I don't want to ever say anything behind your back, which I won't say to your face. I feel
Mhm.
like you guys are pandering. I feel like you guys are pandering to a
Okay.
certain community of men who freaking it's Pornhub, OnlyFans,
Uh-huh.
red pill female content creators are all
Oh, wow.
that gets them going.
Oh.
In this video, I'm going to talk about why Jessica X and women like her are the only type of women that should get any kind of support in the manosphere. So let me break down her history in the space a little bit. We are not going to review all of it. We're going to review the important parts, what I feel is important. So roundabout of May, June, summer of 2020, Kevin Samuels started popping off. He started interviewing women, having conversations with women, and his channel started blowing up. And then in December of 2020 of the same year, Average at Best went viral, okay? And then early next year of that following year, 2021, Fresh and Fit started going viral with the Amanda video, the feminist video, where Kevin Samuels called into the show. Now, here's the thing. This is what Jessica X would do. Because she's in London and Kevin Samuels would end his show around 11 p.m., she would go live immediately afterwards. And it worked out perfectly for her because it would be 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning over there in London. So it worked out perfectly. So what made Jessica X different than other women, other female content creators, she was really and truly going for the throats of major female anti-manosphere content creators, to the point where a lot of these anti-manosphere female content creators would pull up on a show. Well, some of them in a roundabout way in the past, they pulled up to Kevin Samuels' show, but it was before he really popped off. But once Kevin had popped off, and once Jessica was really part of the so-called Kevin Samuels Defense Force, and let me explain real quick what that represents. So Kevin Samuels, what he ended up having is a bunch of content creators that surrounded him, that were protecting him until he popped off to the point where no one could do anything about it. Because in the early days, a lot of women, they thought they could bring him down before he got too big. And that's exactly what they were trying to do. So what Jessica X was doing, she was defending Kevin. She was starting panels, and it was building a shield around Kevin Samuels. Now, what eventually happened, like I was saying, some of these anti-manosphere female content creators, they would pull up on her show. Among them, Shara7, which basically teaches women how to be gold diggers. Another one, the Pink Pill, Kristen Carrison. Okay, you guys can look her up. She has a complicated name, but if you type in the Pink Pill in the YouTube search bar, she will pop up. So all these different women were trying to go at Jessica X, and they were trying to dox her, harass her, and then the next night she would come back for more. In other words, she just wasn't taking the easy route of pandering to men. Now, there was and there is some pandering within her content. Oh, you know what, guys? Yes, a lot of these women sleep around. Yes, a lot of these women only want to settle down when it's convenient and once they lost their looks. All these different types of things. Yes, that's the type of stuff. That stuff is common in her content. But the more important part is where she would challenge a lot of these anti-manosphere female content creators. Now, remember the point of this video. The point is to explain why Jessica X and women like her are some of the only female content creators that should be supported in the manosphere. Okay, so you guys keep that in mind as we move forward in the video. So, like I've discussed before in other videos, the whole concept of grifter / opportunist. Yes, she is an opportunist. A lot of these women are. The vast majority of these women are. They came right after Kevin Samuels popped off. They're like, okay, this is easy money. Let me pander a little bit to men. I'll make my dollars. Okay, and then I'll sit there and do a cash grab, and then I'll stay in the game or I'll take off. She's been in and out of the Manosphere. Sometimes she pops up, does a video or two. She did a video 48 hours ago, but a lot of times she just kind of sticks to her own over there in London, and she's not really doing any videos. Now, when it comes to the whole concept of grifter, because she pretty much copies the talking points of men, including myself, and a lot of other people, whether it's the black manosphere or the white manosphere, or this sector or this subsector of the manosphere, it doesn't really matter. She has got a lot of the talking points, most of them, from all these different subsectors of the space. Now, that's just kind of part of the grind. The reality is, most content creators, especially the men, they have a bunch of distinctions amongst their content. There's some stuff that is similar, the more basic stuff, because obviously there's only so many different ways you can talk about something. But if you sit there and you watch the content of these different male content creators, including myself, there are different parts that make us different than the other ones. Okay, so let's move on to the next point. So the next point is legitimate critiques. What makes Jessica X different than a lot of other content creators, because there's always a bunch of content creators, and male and female, taking shots at her. There's always someone taking shots at her. Now, I have done that as well, and I'm going to talk about that here in a little bit, our personal history. But what makes her a lot different is she actually does the work. She actually puts together well thought out streams and videos that really break down the critiques from other content creators, other anti-manosphere female content creators. In other words, if you're really and truly about helping men, defending men, okay, do the hard work. Break down the other female content creators that don't like the manosphere. Break them down point by point. Do your research, do the videos, break down the videos in a methodical way, and really hit the grind and really grind forward to produce something that's actually worth listening to. So, in fairness to Jessica X, she is very intelligent. She's very articulate. Her debate skills are very elite. So there's been a bunch of females that have gone on her platform and they sit there all day long trying to punk her, and they've been unable to do it the vast majority of the time. So 95% of the time, these women and even males have not got anywhere close to winning the debates against her. So she has set herself apart in a bunch of different ways. One criticism people have had about her is that she doesn't cam up. But the reality is, as a female, especially in the manosphere, you got to be more careful about camming up, because there are a bunch of guys and women that want to harass you. But you know what's really interesting is the vast majority of female content creators, they have cammed up on the anti-manosphere side and the pro-manosphere side. It's hard to be successful on YouTube without camming up. So she has done that. She has worked hard and she's debated a bunch of people. And she's put in a lot of work to prove herself to the space. Now, with respect to the history between her and I do respect her intelligence. I do respect her knowledge of this stuff that she pretty much memorized. Just like Myron over there with Fresh and Fit. They both have the talking points down, okay? But one thing her and I have had disagreements on is how she would make it seem as if Alan Roger Curry's teachings were just real basic things that anyone already understands. Now, if that is true, why have men been getting punked by women for the past, depending on how you want to count it, but I would count it for the past 5 decades. For the past 5 decades, for decades, women have really been punking men all over the United States. So apparently there's a lot of guys out there that don't understand women too well. And I'm not being a jerk. I'm just calling it for what it is. That's just the reality behind it. So when she's over here disrespecting Alan Roger Curry's legacy and talking about how, oh yeah, well, we debated him one time on this channel and this channel and this happened and this happened. The thing about it is, one of the things about Alan Roger Curry is he would throw tantrums because a lot of times he knew he was debating people that didn't know what the fuck they're talking about. And that includes Jessica X. That includes the vast majority of women. Doesn't really matter. They could sit there and watch every single video in the history of the Manosphere. They could sit there and read every single book in the history of the Manosphere, the big time books that people recognize as being the Bibles of the Manosphere. And she's still, like these other women, they wouldn't really and truly understand this stuff at an elite level because they haven't lived the life of a man. It doesn't really matter how many times you break down these rules for them, these different concepts. They can get the talking points down, and they could sit there and crank out the statistics. But the thing that starts becoming more difficult is when you have to sit there and really tie the stuff together. Tying the stuff together is really the elite portion of it. Okay? So when it comes to Jessica X, because I don't want to get too deep into the ARC stuff, that's a video for another day. When it comes to the whole concept of wrenches, moderators, females that are going to be on my platform, especially on my panel, for the most part, maybe never, close to never, there's not going to be females on my panel. And the reason I'm going to do that is because a lot of women, they don't really come to the space to help men. They are disingenuous. They don't want to have good conversations in good faith. They're not over here trying to move the conversation forward. They don't have any skin in the game. So what a lot of these women, what they do is they just go to different panels to disrupt the conversation, and they don't have any skin in the game. And let me explain the whole concept of skin in the game. Skin in the game is, okay, you're building a serious platform. You're trying to build your platform in a serious way, and you're going to just go over there and disrupt the flow of the conversation. You're just going to try to make the host or other panel members, you're trying to go over there to troll. You're not trying to have a serious conversation. So you see where I'm going with this? It's basically people, you're handing the keys to the kingdom, and they don't even work in the kingdom. They don't have a channel. They're not trying to build a serious channel. Even if they do have a channel, they're not trying to build a serious channel. They just want to sit there. A lot of them, they don't know what they're talking about. There will be disagreements. There's a difference between someone not knowing what they're talking about versus having disagreements. The problem is a lot of these people don't have legitimate disagreements. The only women that I would make some exceptions for maybe is someone like Jessica X or a bigger female content creator that has proven herself to actually want to have serious conversations. But even then, a lot of those women, I probably wouldn't have them on the panel because the reality is that's female nature 101. Female nature 101 is, in general, women are way more self-interested than men. What do you mean? Men are self-interested too. No. When you're over there in Chicago and you're working as a plumber in the snow when it's 15 degrees outside, okay? You're not just providing for yourself. You're providing for the wife and the kids. So you're sacrificing your health to provide for other people. Walk up to a woman tomorrow and tell her, you know what? I'm just going to be the house husband. I'm going to raise the kids. I'm going to cook, clean. And you're going to go over there and make $80,000. She would laugh in your face. The reality is 97% of alimony, when it gets paid out in the states that have it, gets paid out to women. Now, I will do a counter argument to my own argument and say this. there's a lot of men that have too much pride, and they could get their cut. Let's say the woman is making a lot more money than him during the marriage. If they get divorced, he could get his cut in theory, but a lot of guys have too much pride and they don't go after it, right? In order for their wives, their former wives, to pay him out, okay, because of the court system. So in fairness to that talking point, a lot of men just have too much pride. So when it comes to the wrenches on my channel, no women will be having wrenches for a bunch of different reasons. A lot of women, they're not serious about helping men. That's number one. A lot of women, they're not going to ruin the culture of a channel that's was created to help men. So, and the reality is, a lot of the people I have as moderators are going to be outside of this little subsector, the Manosphere. They will be from the Black Manosphere. They will be from my personal lives, okay? So, guys that I know from my personal life, they will have some wrenches, some of those guys. And in general, this isn't going to be a channel where I hand out a wrench to every other person. It just isn't going to work, and that's just not how I'm going to run my channel. Now, let me end this with a final point and summarize the whole video. There's too many guys out there that are committing suicide. There's too many guys out there that are having a difficult time getting laid, and that's really unhealthy. That's not real healthy. I mean, it's not healthy at all. It's not healthy at all for men and their mental health, their emotional health. Okay? That's not good for men. Right? There's too many guys out there going through the divorce courts. There's too many guys that are going through a bunch of problems with women. So, having said all that, there's no reason for me to have a bunch of women that have wrenches or to be on my panels who there's a much less of a chance that they care about this stuff. That's just all there is to it. I don't want to have people as moderators that don't care about what's going on with men in this society. They're just not going to have a wrench over there on my channel. Now, let me summarize the whole big concept of this video. Jessica X, in my opinion, only women like her are the types that should be supported by the Manosphere. And let me explain why I say women like her. She took a bunch of bullets. She protected the Manosphere. She went at a bunch of anti-Manosphere female content creators when she didn't have to do it. She just wasn't pandering like a lot of these other women, because the reality is any woman can pander to men and say, okay, well, these women, they only want to settle down when they're used up, or all the different red meat, the traditional red meat of the Manosphere, all the red pill talking points. A lot of these females, a lot of these clowns, that's all they do. They just pander to men. Okay, if you're really about that life, why don't you try to sit there and take down one of these anti-Manosphere female content creators, which is a lot more difficult, which will it'll bring you a lot more smoke. It'll bring you a lot more smoke. It's a lot more difficult. It's a lot more actual work, and you're proving yourself on a much greater scale. In other words, you're not just over there playing basketball in some little town in the middle of nowhere. No, you're taking your basketball. You're going straight over there to Harlem. You're going over there in New York City, straight up over there to those different courts that have produced a bunch of NBA players. And you're really going into the lion's den to advocate, protect men, and really sit there and do something a little bit different. You pandering to men doesn't really get us anywhere. If I want to listen to the message, I'll go listen to Men Make It. If I want to hear traditional red pill talking points, I'll go listen to men, different men that I respect and like. I don't need to hear that stuff from yourself, any of you female content creators. So And quite honestly and quite frankly, if I really have to be a jerk about it, I mean, you're pretty much worthless if you're not going to go at other anti-manosphere female content creators. I'll just put it out there, because that's really and truly how I feel. And on this channel, I put out stuff where I'm genuine in saying everything that I say in my videos. I pretty much 100% I believe that stuff. So if you really want me to break it down, if you really want me to be completely honest, if you're not going to go at other anti-manosphere female content creators, your channel is pretty much worthless. Let me just put it out there. That you're not moving the needle forward. Jessica X, we have had a bunch of disagreements, but at the end of the day, I have to give her respect, because she did do a bunch of stuff for men. She did protect, among other people, help protect Kevin Samuels when he was popping off, and before it was clear that he wasn't going to get canceled. Those first couple months after Average at Best, the first 6 months, there was a decent chance that women were going to be able to bring him down. They weren't able to do it. So this is what I advise the people that listen to this video. Like I said, women like Jessica X are some of the only women that should be supported by the manosphere. So that's it for all. Until next time, this was the Knight and the Bishop and the Knight. Until next time, peace out.
Enemies give me reason to be the last motherfucker.